Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Slurv. I'm Steve, and these are some cash game cornerstones for a Friday. Woo! June 17th. And I hope yesterday went well for you. It was pretty nice in cash for me, although Boston was a big disappointment. But GPP not so much. My boy Aaron Nola did not come out of that Toronto encounter unscathed. But that's okay. We're moving right on. And, you know, we always got our cash to back us up. And it's another nice night for cash. I'll let Adam handle the pitching, and we'll be on the live chat later to talk about that. Argue about that. Talk about that some more. But starting us off with catchers here today, I really like Alex Avila. And that might be a little out of left field. I don't know. But he's been batting middle of the order. He's been hitting well. He's got Trevor Bauer today, which is not, it's an okay matchup. 2.9 on DK, 2.5 on FanDuel. Really nice kind of bargain there. There's not a whole lot of catchers that I feel super great about. Castillo is interesting, but he kind of looks like he's hurt, and he hasn't been doing much at all lately. And I don't want that in my cash games, and not at 4,000 at catcher. So I'd rather take the punt there. And then this is really a FanDuel only thing, because DK has Chris Iannetta up at 4,800, which is like, I don't even know what to say about that. But FanDuel has him at 2,600, which is a much nicer price. He's got a matchup with Elias, and I think he could take advantage of that. It's a lefty-righty matchup. Iannetta has generally been doing well lately. So on FanDuel, I'm really a fan of his. And what can I say about David Ortiz that hasn't already been said this season? The guy is just going crazy. I think, he's at like 27 doubles or something and 18 home runs. Just a crazy season, especially for a guy of his age, like about to retire. But anyway, if you can fit him into your lineup today, get Ortiz in there. I think he's going to have another really nice game today. 5.5 on DK is tough, although pitching is not that bad. We don't have any Kershaws or 11K plus guys that we want to get into on the slate. And on FanDuel, he's a little friendlier at 4.3. And they didn't make the lineup last night, which I was disappointed by. But hopefully tonight, Justin Smoak will get in there against Mike Wright. And I think that shapes up really nicely for Smoak. Wright is a pitcher I like to target. Smoak's 4.2 on DK, so a bit cheaper there, and 3.1 on FanDuel. So a nice little discount from Ortiz there if you can't fit him in. So speaking of expensive plays, we got a game between Houston and Cincinnati today that Vegas just loves. They are all over it. It's 5.7 run total, which is the highest on the board currently, and last I saw it was going up. I like getting plenty of exposure to that game. Actually, I'm sorry, not 5.7 run total. Houston has 5.7 run total. I think the game's total is like 9.5, somewhere in there. But Houston is the side that I'm interested in. They've got McCullers pitching for them. So that, I like McCullers a lot tonight. I'm not really going to be targeting Cincy hitters, although Jay Bruce is kind of in an interesting spot again, but not for cash, certainly. But I do love Altuve against Lamb. Poor John Lamb has not been faring too well. He had a really great start last time, I want to say, but in general, he's not a very good pitcher, and I expect a bunch of guys on Houston to be able to exploit him. Altuve is very, very expensive, even more than Ortiz, 5.6 on DK. It's only 4.1 on FanDuel, which is much more manageable there. And then DK has given us kind of a, free square almost, assuming this guy's back in the lineup. Danny Worth just kind of joined the player pool. He's 2K, min salary on DK. Last time he was hitting second. That's where he's projected today. If he's doing that, lock him in. I think he's second base and shortstop eligible on DK, so whichever spot you're having trouble to fill, I think he makes sense to plug in there. He's a third baseman on FanDuel. I'll talk about him a little in the next section. And then if you don't like either of those options, which you probably should, but honestly, I really like Jurickson Profar against Waka too. 3.9 on DK and 2.9 on FanDuel. I think he makes for a solid play there too. He's just been going crazy, and I like the Texas offense in general today. So I'll start off talking about Worth. He's a little bit more expensive on FanDuel, which is normally something I avoid like the plague. But when it's only 2.2, I don't mind it at all. So if you wanted to plug him in at third base on FanDuel, do not hate that by any means. But we also got A-Rod against Pat Dean. A-Rod likes beating up on these not-so-great left-handers. 4.2 on DK and 3.1 on FanDuel. Very attractive price there. And then I'm really interested in Brandon Drury on DK because he's an outfielder on FanDuel. Hopefully he'll be back in the lineup. I haven't really noticed him being in it much lately, but they're facing a left-hander today, so maybe he'll get the call in the projected lineup I was looking at. He was hitting second. Love that. And they're facing Adam Morgan, who has not been great. He's only 3.3 on DK, so I love that if he gets in the lineup. DraftKings has gone and closed the Tim Anderson loophole. Not really a loophole, but he's been a nice cheap play, 2K for like 2 days in there, just taking up a hard-to-fill spot. But today he's 3.7, and I'm not that interested against Trevor Bauer here. But FanDuel is a little behind on that. He's only 2.5 there, so if you want to plug him in there, I certainly don't mind that. I really do like Corey Seager, though, against Zach Davies, who's been pretty good, actually. But so is Seager. And he's only 4.0 on DK. It's like a $1,200 drop from yesterday, I want to say. It's a price that I like. 3.4 on FanDuel, also a nice price. And then I mentioned piling on John Lamb, and Carlos Correa presents a nice opportunity to do that. 4.2 on DK just seems way too cheap for him, and 3.8 on FanDuel seems maybe not way too cheap, but too cheap all the same. Baltimore is facing a lefty today, and in all likelihood that means we get Hyun-Soo Kim back in the lineup, which is great. He's a guy I've mentioned a couple of times in this. He hits near the top of Baltimore's order. He's a singles machine, always getting on base. We love that kind of consistency, and the fact that he's not going to get you a zero, kind of like Joey Rickard yesterday, except I pulled Rickard from my lineup and went with Trumbo kind of the last minute. Wasn't a good call. But Kim is 3.2 on DK, 2.6 on FanDuel. Really nice prices there. We can also pile on John Lamb some more with George Springer. He's 4.6 on DK, 4.0 on FanDuel. Both are expensive but reasonable prices in this kind of cupcake of a matchup for him. Then we got Shin-Soo Choo. I mentioned I like Texas a good bit too in general, going up against Michael Wacha. 3.4 on DK, 3.1 on FanDuel. Not quite as attractive on FanDuel, but nice price overall. Then I like Yasmani Tomas, a guy that just never really gets played too much, probably because Arizona sticks him down near the bottom of the lineup, which they totally shouldn't. But he's 3.8 on DK. He gets Morgan today, just hasn't been very good. And 2.7 on FanDuel is just way too cheap. At 3.8 on DK, I might rather go to Michael Conforto, who had quite a nice game yesterday, hit a home run. He gets John Gant. I think his first name is John. I'm not too sure, so I should tell you a little bit about the pitcher. Conforto, not Gant, is 3.8 on DK and 3.0 on FanDuel. So I might prefer going him over Tomas on DK. But on FanDuel, that Tomas price is just fantastic. But, put Conforto in there too. And then I mentioned Brandon Drury, who's an outfielder on FanDuel, and also outfield eligible on DK, but I don't see why you'd play him there unless you're just really set on a third baseman, I guess. And he's only 2.2 on FanDuel, which is just too cheap. I mean, if he's at the top of the order batting second, as is currently projected, I would just lock him in cash games. I've been missing playing Brandon Drury. And that kind of wraps it up for my cash game cornerstones for today. Come on back later. We got the rundown, a written assessment of Max and Adam and my ideas. We'll have a daily dong finder piece out for you where I go digging for home runs in my home run focused model. And we got an expert chat today, 4:30 Eastern time, a little bit earlier than normal. I don't know, somebody has a problem with it. someone's. No, it's just so we can get our lineups in a little bit earlier because we've been kind of stuck cramming at the end here. So make sure you come on by slurv.com, stop by the tailgate, say hi, discuss some lineups with us. It's free to sign up, and you can also get signed up for all of the expert chat stuff going on later. Those are great. They're really fun. I look forward to them every day. Once again, this is Slurv. I am Steve. This has been your Cash Game Cornerstones. Good luck tonight, guys.